So the submersible Titan went missing on Sunday after attempting to take 5 people on an expedition to the wreckage of the Titanic, which is already crazy in and of itself. Going to visit a ghost graveyard underwater, 12,500 feet underwater to be exact. So this submersible went missing, and this is pretty much all anybody in the world can talk about. This is everywhere. Everywhere on the internet's going crazy. There's memes floating around left and right about the whole situation.
What are you doing?
Nothing. Me? Just hanging around.
Because it's just crazy. It's stupid. And not to mention, in order to even take this expedition, OceanGate charges $250,000. And the reason it's stupid is because of all of the flaws that had to go into this whole expedition that are now coming to the surface. Like, here's a tour of the submarine.
Hi, my name is Stockton Rush. I'm the CEO and founder of OceanGate. Let's take a look at Titan.
So just starting off this video, honestly, I did not think that this was gonna be the submersible. Like, I thought that was just like an engine for it. You know, like one propeller. I thought it was like one propeller. I thought it was gonna like zoom out and we're gonna see some giant ass submarine. You're telling me they used this thing to try to go 12,000 feet down into the water?
So we're coming into the sub. This is the only toilet available on a deep diving submersible. Best seat in the house. You can look out the viewport. We put a privacy screen in, turn up the music.
For $250,000, you get to shit in a tiny box while looking out of a small window while everybody smells it.
And it's very popular.
Well, yeah, I bet it is pretty popular because there's no room to move around. So somebody has to be sitting there at all times because there's nowhere else to sit or move.
We have our control screen here, our sonar screen here, and we can put any image we want in the back.
So you're looking around here and it's pretty underwhelming. You would think that for a submarine that needs to go that deep to explore a wrecked ship, you would need a little more, right? But you walk in and it's like shit box, 2 screens. And that's the whole submarine. Like, I don't know anything about submarines and I'm pretty sure that's not enough.
We've taken a completely new approach to the sub design, and it's all run with this game controller and these touch screens.
Is this a joke? A PlayStation controller?
So if you want to go forward, you press forward. If you want to go back, you go back. Turn left, turn right, go down, go up.
Yeah, so this is one of the craziest things about this submarine that everybody's discovering is they used a PlayStation controller in order to steer the sub. Like, listen, I don't mean to beat a dead seahorse, but we do have to kind of judge these people's decision quality a little bit, right? Like, if you're getting into a submarine and the pilot over here looks like he's playing a game of Call of Duty, I would start to think they might not know what they're doing. Like, I would start to think they might not be taking this seriously. Like, maybe that's what happened. Maybe the pilot saw some ghosts and accidentally tried to 360 no-scope them.
And it's Bluetooth, so I can hand it to anybody. And it's meant for a 16-year-old to throw it around, and super durable. We keep a couple of spares on board just in case.
And I also love how this guy's like, yeah, well, you can just fucking throw this fucking controller around. Like, not a big deal. Like, dude, that is probably like one of the most important pieces of equipment on the submarine is the control, like how to move it. And you're like, yeah, just fucking, you can just toss it, throw it to a 16-year-old. No big deal. Like, what? So like, for how expensive this thing must have been, I feel like you should not be using PlayStation controllers. Like, there's gotta be a better alternative that's like more sophisticated and effective. Like,
this is the second year we've been out to the Titanic. We went out in 8.
Okay, like even the propeller on this thing looks like super underwhelming. They just got the cables just like out in the open, and this is like the smallest propeller I've ever seen.
Years ago, the Russians took tourists out to the Titanic, and it was just sort of a look and see thing.
Dude, this guy's sitting here crisscross applesauce, and he's just himself taking up like half of the submersible. And they packed 5 people into this thing. So for $250,000, you get to get packed into a sardine can and go to the bottom of the ocean to see the Titanic. Bro, for $250,000, I want my own bedroom in the submarine. I want a private toilet. I want a private window. I want the floor to be glass. But instead, they got a Campbell's soup can that they all had to cram into. Not only that, but the people who pay to go along are known as mission specialists, and they take turns operating sonar equipment and performing other tasks in the 5-person submersible. So this is kind of a big brain move by OceanGate because they're like, hey, you pay us to work the submarine. You pay us $250,000 and we will let you control the submarine. We're not gonna hire somebody to do it. We're gonna make you do it. You pay us to work. Which to me is also like, what the fuck? You know? Like, you're just gonna let whoever has the cash operate a submarine, like this critical mission equipment. Most people don't even know what a sonar is. And all you have to do is pay $250,000 and all of a sudden you're a submarine specialist. That probably should not be allowed. So like I said, a lot of stuff has come out about how this submersible should have never been allowed to go diving like that in the first place. Like, apparently an ex-worker for the company raised concerns and would not greenlight manned missions on it because it apparently wasn't built to go that deep. Like, the glass couldn't even withstand the pressure it wasn't supposed to. And they fired him and have gone on like 6 expeditions since then. And then also, like, there was an interview with the CEO where he said safety is a waste, which is exactly what you want to hear from the dude who's building the submarine for you to dive 12,000 feet to a shipwreck. He says, you know, there's a limit. At some point, safety just is pure waste. I mean, if you just want to be safe, don't get out of bed. Don't get in your car. Don't do anything. At some point, you're going to take some risk, and it really is a risk/reward situation. I think I can do this just as safely by breaking the rules. You know, you're right. Like, if you really want to be that safe, don't get out of bed. Don't drive a car. But driving a car is a lot different than going in a giant metal tin can that's going to withstand 4 million pounds of pressure. Like, I think there's a lot more risk involved in that. That's a great philosophy to have, you know? Like, if you want to be safe, just don't do anything. You know, it's not like there's a better alternative, like driving safely, being careful, following rules, making sure that you're not bolting the door from the outside in, making sure that you're equipped with the correct communication equipment. After having a few expeditions where it completely fails, maybe not doing more. Yeah, I feel like there's better ways to stay safe than just not doing anything. So like I said, the internet kind of went crazy over this. It's all anybody and their mother has been talking about the past few days. Even James Cameron, the director for the Titanic, made some comments about it, saying that just by looking at the submarine, like just by looking at it, there's some obvious design flaws, like I said. And this dude has taken multiple trips down there. I've taken 0, and even I said that. Like, just so you guys know, I've never been to the Titanic myself, just so you know. And even I looked at that thing and I was like, no. So yeah, basically this submersible should have never been diving down to see the Titanic, and this whole thing could have been avoided. That being said, OceanGate did post a job opening for a submersible pilot/marine technician. It says they have an immediate opening for a sub pilot/marine technician. So if you've ever owned a PlayStation or know how to use a PlayStation controller, well, they might have a job for you. See ya.